Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you had some rest yesterday, and hopefully you have got a nice weather this morning. Just hope that is going to last. Before we start our session, I would like to inform you that the Bureau met this morning, and the revision of timetable of the committee's work has been considered. The revised timetable is now published on the 13Com website. Today, we begin our session with the examination of item 10A and then continue with 10B. The Secretariat received requests to open 9 individual decisions for debate. In addition, 2 states withdrew their files. Lao People's Democratic Republic withdrew its nomination, Traditional Art of Naga Weaving, for possible inscription on the representative list. Draft decision 13Com 10B22, and Saudi Arabia withdrew its proposal Al Janadria National Festival of Heritage and Culture for selection on the register of good safeguarding practices. We are now ready to examine the first sub-item 10A, examination of nominations for inscription on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. We will examine 7 nominations. They have been submitted by Algeria, Azerbaijan, Cambodia, Egypt, Kenya, Pakistan, and the Syrian Arab Republic. Before examining the nomination, it is important that we remember the criteria that must guide our decision today. And I believe they are going to be put on the screen now. The submitting state party is requested to demonstrate that an element satisfies all of the following criteria. U1, that the element constitutes intangible cultural heritage as defined in Article 2 of the Convention. The viability of the element is in danger despite the efforts deployed by the community. U3, a safeguarding plan is elaborated to enable the community to continue the practice and transmission of the element. U4, the element has been nominated following the widest possible participation of the community and with its free, prior, and informed consent. U5, the element is included in an inventory of the intangible cultural heritage as defined in Articles 11 and 12 of the Convention. Let us move now to the examination of the individual files. We will first examine the nomination, knowledge and skills of the water measures of the Fugaras or water bailiffs of Tuat and Tidikelt, submitted by Algeria. Mr. Omare, the floor is now yours to present to us the findings of the body on this nomination.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So our first file under urgent safeguarding list is knowledge and skills of the water measurers of the foregrass all-water bailiffs of Tuat and Tidikelt, submitted by Algeria. The element concerns the knowledge and skills of the water measurers, of the foregrass, that is the system of channels, all water bailiffs of the Koso communities of Tuat and Tidikelt. The water measurers are involved in various operations, from calculating water shares to repairing distribution combs and conducting water in the channel. Every foreground connects several categories of social agents and knowledge bearers, including owners, manual workers, accountants, and water measurers. But it's the water measurers' knowledge that appears to be under threat. Currently, there is little knowledge transmission and lack of communication between the young people and their elders. From the information included in the file, the nomination satisfies criteria U1, U2, U4, and U5 for inscription on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. The element is closely related to the way of life, economy, and survival of the desert area of Algeria. The knowledge and skills of the water measurers are closely connected to the historical local land law system, which has been affected by state interventions in oasis agriculture and introduction of technologically advanced underground water extraction methods. Community representatives, members of an association for the protection of the foregrass, students, knowledge bearers, and practitioners actively participated in preparing the nomination. However, the evaluation body considered that the information is not sufficient to assess criteria U3. Besides the water measurers, the local community is not involved in safeguarding the element as an expression of living heritage. So additional information is required on how the newly acquired knowledge and skills of trained practitioners will be utilized, how the entire knowledge system will be safeguarded, as the skills of the water measurers are not independent of the broader social context of the element. The financing of the safeguarding plan is lacking. The commitment of the state party and the objectives and expected impacts of the proposed safeguarding measures. Therefore, the evaluation body recommends that the committee refers knowledge and skills of water measurers of the foregrass or water bailiffs of Tuat and Tidikelt to the submitting state party. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Omare, for this detailed explanation of the different issues raised during the evaluation of this file. The Bureau received a request for amendment and debate for this file. The floor is now open to committee members. I see Palestine, Kuwait, Lebanon, Djibouti. Palestine, please.
شكرا سيدي الرئيس. أود أولا أن أشكر الهيئة التقييمية لتقريرها الوافي والواضح، وأود أيضا أن أشكر الدولة الطرف التي قدمت هذا العنصر الهام. فنحن نعلم أن من المعارف والمهارات لكي يلي المياه في الفجارات في الجزائر هو عنصر هام لأنه مرتبط بالماء ومرتبط أيضا مباشرة بنمط الحياة. Is there a problem with the translation? No translation. You don't understand Arabic, Mr. Chair?
Not for the time being, sorry.
أوكي. وبالتالي قيل لي أن الترجمة قائمة الآن. وبالتالي أهمية هذا العنصر هي ارتباطه بالمياه وارتباطه بنمط الحياة، فهو
No translation in English. I don't know. Do you have it in French?
Yes, we can. No, you know.
Do you have the translation? Okay, I'll continue in English, Mr. Chair, just to avoid this. أنا آسف للإخوة العرب، فمشكلة تقنية. أكمل؟ يمكن أن أستمر.
Interpreter, can you please speak in English? Yes.
Oui, on entend l'interprétation en français.
ماشي الحال هلا؟
Yes, it's good now.
It's good. شكرا سيدي الرئيس. لن أكرر كل ما قلته، ولكن أود أن أشكر الهيئة التقييمية وأن أشكر الدولة الطرف لاهتمامها بهذا العنصر الهام والذي هو فعلا مهدد بالخطر. أهميته هي أنه مرتبط بالماء، والماء هي أساس الحياة وبنمط الحياة في الفجارات في الجزائر. لن أطيل لأن هناك طلبات كثيرة للحديث، لكن حيث أن المعيار الثالث لم يكن مستوفاه بالتقييم، أود أن أوجه سؤالين إلى الدولة الطرف سيد الرئيس، وأرجو أن يعطوا الفرصة للإجابة عليها. والآن أود أن أوجه الأسئلة بالفرنسية. Alors, première question. Pourquoi les mesures de sauvegarde précédentes ont été axées sur l'infrastructure? La deuxième question, ça concerne le plan de financement de sauvegarde. On aimerait bien avoir un peu de clarification, car dans l'évaluation, ce n'était pas clair pour l'évaluation body. Si l'État parti peut nous clarifier cela. Merci, Monsieur le Président. Shukran, Saïd al-Raïs.
Est-ce que je peux demander à l'Algérie de réagir sur les remarques faites par Palestine, s'il vous plaît?
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Je souhaitais juste peut-être vous demander, avec votre permission, peut-être pourrions-nous grouper 2 ou 3 questions pour éviter qu'il y ait redondance. Comme ça, nous pourrions répondre à tous les collègues en même temps. Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Président.
C'est très bien. À ce moment-là, je vais... May I ask Kuwait, please?
Yes, good morning and thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Kuwait would like to support the draft amendment submitted by Palestine for the water knowledge of skills for water measures in Algeria's file. As our colleagues in Palestine said, the water is a major element, especially in a region where the lack of water is there. And the file, as we look at it, has been preserved for so many years, and I think it's a moral responsibility for this committee to continue the preservation of these water measures and water skills for the community, not just for the past community, also for the future communities, to appreciate the water system, the water preservation, the water consumption in an area, in a region that has the least water resources. So again, we'd like to support the draft amendment submitted by our colleagues, and we would like also to listen to the answers being asked by Palestine for the state party. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuwait. I have got 4 other members on the list: Philippines, Senegal, Cuba, and Azerbaijan. Philippines, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. We note that this nomination was previously referred and that the state party resubmitted the nomination taking into account the previous assessment of the evaluation body. As it is a nomination for the urgent safeguarding list, we believe the committee should take an inclusive approach, considering that the element is in need of support and safeguarding measures to ensure its viability and future transmission. In this regard, we see the safeguarding plan as presented by the state party can help promote the element's viability, since it involves the creation of a steering committee that also includes main actors dealing with water and land resource management, including from the government. We also observe that there's participation of the local community in aspects of the safeguarding plan. We would like to request that the state party could perhaps give more information on the documentation and awareness-raising measures with knowledge bearers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Philippine. I missed on my list Lebanon. Please, Lebanon.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. J'aimerais bien insister sur l'importance de ce projet qui décrit un élément du patrimoine immatériel, un élément inclusif qui décrit aussi le rôle vital de ces mesureurs d'eau et donc que l'on retrouve un peu partout autour du bassin méditerranéen, comme chez nous, les gardiens de l'eau. Et j'aimerais bien demander plus d'informations sur la communauté locale qui sera impliquée dans le processus de sauvegarde. Cette communauté est présente dans le critère U4 en tant que signataire du projet. Mais on ne la retrouve pas dans le U3. Deuxièmement, j'aimerais bien savoir comment le savoir et le savoir-faire nouvellement acquis seront-ils utilisés dans le plan de sauvegarde.
Merci beaucoup, le Liban. Le Sénégal, s'il vous plaît.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Nous voudrions remercier l'organe d'évaluation et également féliciter l'État soumissionnaire, l'Algérie, pour cet important dossier sur l'eau, source de vie, et poser une question à l'Algérie pour nous indiquer, donner plus d'informations sur l'implication des communautés et la transmission du savoir. Merci.
Merci beaucoup. Cuba, please.
Gracias, señor presidente. Nuestra delegación desea agradecer al órgano de evaluación por la información presentada y por la evaluación de la candidatura. Nuestra delegación desea sumarse también, como las que nos han precedido, a las enmiendas presentadas por Palestina. Nos parece que estamos ante una nominación de especial importancia y significación, sobre todo por la vinculación que nos presenta entre el patrimonio inmaterial y el desarrollo sostenible, en particular en el ámbito del agua, de la gestión de saberes y prácticas acumuladas en el ejercicio de una gestión sostenible del agua, que es algo que hoy hasta nuestros días constituye un problema fundamental en nuestra sociedad. Y nos parece fundamental poder contribuir a que este sea un proyecto y una nominación que sea finalmente inscrita. Al igual que oradores que nos han precedido, nos parece importante cómo se presenta en el expediente toda la vinculación con la comunidad y las características de una población envejecida, en que una ayuda, una participación directa y un acompañamiento directo de la UNESCO en este proyecto permitiría que la práctica y el conocimiento sea extendido y permanezca vivo en aras de la preservación de este patrimonio inmaterial, que para la región árabe es fundamental, todo el tema de la gestión y los recursos del agua. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Cuba. May I request now Azerbaijan to take the floor, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our delegation has carefully studied the file submitted by Algeria, and we would like to thank the distinguished evaluation body members for the effort that has been put in evaluating this file. This file submitted presents a very interesting element, which is closely related to the interaction between intangible heritage and sustainable development, and notably to the equitable share of natural resources, as well as preventing and resolving disputes. We are dealing with a nomination that demonstrates close link between intangible and tangible heritage, as a system of fugaras, water wells, and tunnels represent an important aspect of the practice of the element itself, whose viability is now under serious threat. Section 1 in particular explains exactly how communities have safeguarded the element in the past and what role has been played by water owners, manual workers, accountants, and finally the water measurers. Regarding the proposed safeguarding plan, we would like to note that the plan does not only suggest documenting the practice and training a new generation of water measures as the main lines of safeguarding plan. It also suggests building relationships with stakeholders who also play a role in the practice of element, such as fugara, owners, and local municipalities. The focus on water measures is also, in our view, is understandable, since they play probably the most important role in the practice of element. We also note that budget has been foreseen for the implementation of the plan. Finally, we believe the file also provides sufficient information on the consideration of a broader social context, as local municipalities, wilayat, associations of Fogara owners are expected to be involved, not to speak about awareness-raising activities targeted at general public. Bearing all this in mind, our delegation would support positive recommendation in criterion U.3 for this file. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Azerbaijan. I have got a last member on the list, Kazakhstan.
Thank you, dear Chairperson. Kazakhstan would like to extend its support for the Palestinian amendment. Considering that most countries rather recently got opportunities to provide modern household facilities like centralized irrigation, electricity, or heating systems to remote areas, we understand that it is always the government's goodwill to improve living conditions for people surviving in harsh climatic environment. Whenever technology comes to rural areas, local communities cannot fully assess the value of their traditional and sustainable lifestyle from the perspective of universal cultural heritage. As a committee member, I would like to give credit for realistic depiction of situation in nomination that shows sincere concern from the community representatives, like it was noted in the nomination, the measurers, accountants, students, researchers, as well as the local and state authorities to find practical, efficient, and long-term safeguarding solution. Appropriating current water supply and land resource management system to their traditional forms for the viability of the element would require serious financial, technical, and administrative resources from the government and communities, which makes inscription on the urgent safeguarding list hardly attainable. Bearing in mind that survival of the element has been threatened by changing traditional lifestyle, making it a universal phenomenon, we extend our support for the inscription on the basis of more flexible and realistic evaluation of viability for such elements. Inscribing ancient knowledge and skills of building and maintaining irrigation system in Saharan oasis of Algeria as a treasury of human genius and creativity, as a model of environmentally and socially sustainable livelihood, will inhale a new life for element survival in the future by attracting comprehensive research, documentation, training, and practical application, both as a living heritage in Algeria or innovative housing projects abroad. Thank you.
Thank you, Kazakhstan. I have now two more members on the list, Djibouti, followed by Jamaica. Djibouti, please.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Je voudrais d'abord féliciter l'Algérie, porteur de ce projet, devant le comité, car on reconnaît nous-mêmes la pertinence de ce savoir-faire traditionnel lié à la distribution d'eau dans des conditions climatiques difficiles. Dans ce cadre, l'organe d'évaluation a estimé que la communauté locale ne semblait pas être impliquée dans le sauvegarde de l'élément en tant qu'expression du patrimoine vivant. Et d'après le dossier, il y aurait un manque entre les jeunes et les aînés sur la transmission de cet élément. Et la délégation de la République de Djibouti voudrait avoir quelques éléments d'information sur l'implication de la communauté, sur la sauvegarde de cet élément. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Merci beaucoup, Djibouti. May I now ask our friend from Jamaica to take the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jamaica would like to thank the evaluation committee for its work, which is not at all times easy, but nevertheless it is work that has to be done. We recognize the significance of the water measures of the Fogaras, and if I mispronounce it, please forgive me, and notes that the file has adequately satisfied criteria U1, U2, U4, and U5 in clearly presenting the features of the water measure to the STAR community and the role in ensuring the survival of the community through management of the irrigation system. We submit that the concerns raised by the evaluation body on issues of safeguarding of the element and ensuring its viability have been clarified by the state party of Algeria, and further clarification on these areas can be provided in the event the committee requires some from the state party. Jamaica would also appreciate allowing the state party to address the concerns raised by Palestine and also supports the amendment as submitted. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamaica. Maintenant, je veux demander aux représentants d'Algérie de bien vouloir nous clarifier et répondre à quelques questions qui ont été posées par les membres du comité. L'Algérie, s'il vous plaît.
شكرا سيدي الرئيس. قبل كل شيء نود أن نقدم الشكر لكل أعضاء المجلس الذين وجهوا لنا الأسئلة، ونود كذلك أن نشكرهم للاهتمام الذي أبدوه تجاه هذا الملف المهم للجزائر. ولن أطيل عليكم الكلام، سوف أحيل الكلمة للأستاذ رشيد بليل الذي عمل جاهدا من أجل هذا الملف والذي سوف يقدم لكم الأجوبة على كل الأسئلة. شكرا سيدي الرئيس.
Allez-y.
Merci beaucoup. Alors, il y a plusieurs éléments à prendre en compte. L'une des questions redondantes, je crois que c'est l'implication des communautés. On en avait discuté hier de ce concept de communauté qui est trop vaste et un peu trop théorique. Dans le cas qui nous préoccupe, les membres des communautés directement impliqués par ce problème de la gestion de l'eau sont d'abord les propriétaires de Fogara. Parce qu'il faut bien savoir que les Fogaras sont un bien privé. C'est-à-dire qu'il y a un certain nombre de personnes qui s'associent, dans le passé évidemment, et qui ont construit ces Fogaras et qui se transmettent les parts d'eau d'une génération à une autre. Évidemment, ces parts d'eau peuvent être vendues et achetées par d'autres. C'est le premier élément, les propriétaires de Fogara. Deuxièmement, il y a les comptables, ceux qui détiennent les registres dans lesquels sont notés depuis des générations, depuis même des siècles, toutes les transactions qui sont effectuées sur les Fogara. Les nouvelles parts, celles qui sont achetées, vendues, etc. Et enfin, le troisième élément humain qui est en même temps le plus important pour nous dans le cadre du projet, ce sont les mesureurs d'eau, ce qu'on appelle les Kiyalinma. Donc on a trois catégories de personnes et la première partie de notre travail, qui est déjà effectuée depuis quelques années, a été d'inventorier toutes ces personnes. Donc nous avons mené un travail dans chaque Ksar. Le Ksar, c'est l'équivalent d'un village. Et nous avons identifié les propriétaires, les détenteurs de savoir et les comptables. Je crois que dans le petit documentaire que nous avons présenté, on les voit, ces propriétaires, ces comptables et les mesureurs eux-mêmes. Donc ils sont directement impliqués dans le projet. Ils constituent la base humaine de ce projet. Nous les connaissons, ils nous connaissent et nous travaillons de concert. Il s'agit parce que, si vous voulez, ce savoir et savoir-faire a été plus ou moins marginalisé depuis les années 70 avec l'intervention des pouvoirs publics qui ont mis en œuvre des techniques modernes d'accès aux eaux souterraines. C'est un petit peu le mythe du développement, du progrès technique, etc. Or, on s'est aperçu, après 30 ou 40 années d'expérience, que les projets de l'État, si vous voulez, peuvent fonctionner, mais qu'il ne fallait pas abandonner, laisser dépérir l'ancien système des Fogara, d'accès à l'eau. Parce que ce système est issu de la tradition, du passé, et il permet d'entretenir les palmeraies existantes. Il y a actuellement environ 300 à 350 palmeraies qui s'étendent sur 600 km. Et donc, notre projet n'est pas en opposition avec le développement économique, mais il est complémentaire. C'est-à-dire qu'on laisse l'État créer de nouvelles fermes dans des endroits isolés, mais nous, ce qui nous intéresse dans ce projet, c'est de continuer à travailler avec les détenteurs de savoir, les propriétaires de Fogara, pour que justement ce savoir ne disparaisse pas. Parce que là, si cela continue comme ça, dans 1 ou 2 générations, le savoir ne sera plus transmis. Actuellement, la moyenne d'âge des détenteurs de savoir, c'est à peu près 55-60 ans. Vous voyez? Et les jeunes sont orientés vers d'autres préoccupations. Donc, ces détenteurs de savoir, nous nous appuyons sur eux pour récolter leur savoir qui est empirique et qui se transmettait de manière orale. Et ce que nous voulons faire, c'est le but du projet, c'est d'arriver à le documenter en travaillant évidemment avec ces détenteurs de savoir pour constituer ce savoir traditionnel, qu'on le retrouve formellement établi, si vous voulez. La deuxième partie du projet, c'est d'impliquer des jeunes, et peut-être des moins jeunes, à partir de 40, 50 ans, qui sont désireux, et il y en a, nous commençons à les recenser, qui sont désireux d'accéder à ce savoir, de les mettre directement en relation avec, au moment d'un certain nombre d'ateliers de transmission de savoir, mais dans un cadre moderne, c'est-à-dire en utilisant des supports modernes, vidéo, films, communication écrite, etc., etc. Voilà, je vous remercie.
Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Président. Pour être complet aussi avec ce qu'a dit, ce que vient de répondre mon collègue, rapidement sur la question du financement, l'Algérie a mis à disposition donc des personnes qui sont en train de sauvegarder cet élément. Donc elle a débloqué une enveloppe de plus de 750 000 $ qui sont alloués par les pouvoirs publics afin de mener à bien ce projet. Donc l'implication de la communauté locale, mon collègue vient d'y répondre, et il y a une question spécifique sur la sauvegarde de l'élément physique. Pourquoi nous avons accès les précédentes tentatives de sauvegarde sur l'élément physique, tout simplement parce que sans cet élément physique, sans la pérennisation de cet élément physique, la connaissance empirique dont parlait mon collègue juste à l'instant serait un peu désuète, elle ne servira à rien. Donc c'est comme essayer de sauver l'instrument de musique d'un musicien. Voilà, j'espère avoir été complet dans nos réponses, et nous restons à la disposition de tous les collègues et de l'organe d'évaluation s'ils ont une autre demande. Et permettez-moi juste une petite remarque. Merci beaucoup à tout le monde. Et j'ai été très impressionné par la façon dont vous avez tous prononcé Fogara. On a l'impression que vous avez tous un jour ou vécu ou passé au moins par l'Algérie. J'espère qu'on pourra vous recevoir et vous pourrez boire l'eau de la Fogara. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, l'Algérie. Thank you, everybody. I believe we are now ready to move to the adoption of the decision paragraph by paragraph. Can we consider paragraph 1? Is there any objection to paragraph 1? I see none. Adopted. Paragraph 2. Do we have any proposed amendment to paragraph 2? Or any? I see none. Adopted. Paragraph 3. I see under paragraph 3 certain amendment proposed by Palestine. Do we have support for this amendment? Yes. Zambia?
Zambia would like to support the amendment of Palestine.
I have got Zambia and Senegal. Yes, Senegal. Senegal and then Kuwait.
Le Sénégal apporte son soutien.
No, we will take our time, it's okay. They're not speaking. Djibouti, Togo. 1 minute. Put them up. Yeah, they will put them up. So we have. Ask them to please leave up there. Please leave up your.
Could you please maintain your nameplate so that we can recognize each one of you? I had Zambia. Sénégal, please. Keep it. Gardez Sénégal entre-temps, s'il vous plaît. Le temps qu'on puisse noter.
Cuba. Keep them up. Philippines. Kazakhstan. Lebanon. Kuwait. Do you want to read these out? Philippines, Jamaica.
Not sure, Jamaica.
Djibouti.
We have active support to the amendment proposed by Palestine. Therefore, paragraph 3 is adopted as amended. Paragraph 4. Paragraph 4, an amendment proposed by Palestine. Poland, Jamaica. I see that we have active support for amendment under paragraph 4. Yes.
Sí, gracias, señor presidente. Quizás sería bueno que usted leyera la lista para asegurarnos que hemos sido registrados correctamente. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Cuba.
It takes time to put, so we are noting, so you can read which ones, and we'll put them afterwards. Cuba.
Therefore, we adopt paragraph 4 as proposed by Palestine. Paragraph 5.
You need to read the names, and we can put them up. If you read them, we go on the summary records.
I'm told that I should formally read the name of all the countries supporting the amendment of Palestine. I have Lebanon, Poland, Senegal, Jamaica, Philippines, Azerbaijan, Kuwait, Zambia, and Cuba. There is also Kazakhstan, Djibouti, Togo, Cyprus. Thank you. Paragraph 4 is adopted. Paragraph 5. No objection. Adopted. Paragraph 6. Adopted. We now move to adopt the whole document 13-10A1 as amended. No objection. Adopted. Congratulations, Algeria. May I now give the floor to Algeria for 2 minutes.
Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Président. Nous n'allons pas monopoliser la parole. Nous savons que nous avons une longue journée devant nous et nous souhaiterions juste tout d'abord remercier les membres et les collègues du comité du patrimoine matériel pour leur appui et surtout pour leur compréhension de ce dossier combien important pour l'Algérie et pour la communauté qui est derrière. Nous croyons fermement que le développement durable et le développement d'une agriculture durable, surtout, ne peut passer qu'à travers la protection de nos anciennes coutumes, des anciennes façons de nos pères et de nos grands-pères et de nos aïeux qu'ils avaient d'approcher l'utilisation rationnelle des ressources, l'utilisation rationnelle surtout de l'eau. De l'eau jaillit la vie. Donc c'est pour ça que cet élément qui a été inscrit aujourd'hui est emblématique pour nous et nous nous engageons à faire tout notre possible pour sauvegarder cet élément, pour le promouvoir et pour revenir peut-être bientôt ici devant ce comité pour vous dire que cet élément ne mérite plus d'être sur la liste de sauvegarde d'urgence, mais plutôt sur la liste des représentatifs et peut-être sur la liste des meilleures pratiques. Cela, nous nous engageons aujourd'hui devant vous, Monsieur le Président et chers collègues du comité. Nous souhaitons aussi remercier l'organe d'évaluation qui a fait un travail vraiment impressionnant et qui a compris la nature de ce dossier. Et nous les remercions également pour leurs recommandations et nous nous engageons aussi à mettre en œuvre tout ce qui a été pointé par l'organe d'évaluation comme peut-être pourra renforcer notre action à ce sujet. Et nous souhaitons aussi enfin remercier le secrétariat pour leur aide très précieuse dans la gestion qu'il y a eu de ce dossier. Et enfin, un remerciement spécial pour vous, Monsieur le Président, pour la manière dont vous menez nos travaux et surtout un grand merci à la République de Maurice pour l'accueil et pour l'organisation de cet important événement. Nous vous remercions et les communautés et la délégation algérienne vous remercie au nom de toute la communauté du toit télévique. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Merci beaucoup, Algérie, et encore une fois, félicitations. I would like at this juncture to recognize and welcome among us Mr. Zhu Jiang, Vice Minister for Culture and Tourism of China. Welcome, sir. To also welcome Mrs. Sakuna Purang, Minister of Culture and Fine Arts of Cambodia, who is with us. Welcome again, madam. We will now move to the examination of the nomination Yali Kochari Tenzere, traditional group dancers of Nakhichevan, draft decision 10A2, submitted by Azerbaijan. I will now give the floor to the chairperson of the evaluation body so that he can share with us the findings of the body on this nomination.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. The next file is Yali Kochali Tensele, traditional group dances of Nakhichevan, submitted by Azerbaijan. Yali traditional group dances are dance expressions based exclusively on collective performances. Until the mid-20th century, Yali were widely practiced, but several factors such as gradual laws of social functions for certain types of Yali, a preference for staged performances, labor migration and the economic crisis of the late 1980s and early 1990s, a shift from informal to formal transmission, and a drastic simplification of the dances have impacted the transmission of the practice thereafter. From the information included in the file, the nomination satisfies all 5 criteria for inscription on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. The evaluation body considered that Yali Kochal Tenzele, traditional group dances of Nakhichevan, symbolizes energy, solidarity, and rhythm of life, reinforcing social cohesion and friendship. Due to laws of variety, the use of homogenized simplified forms, the gradual laws of different laws of practitioners, and social functions of the dances, the prevalence of stage performances, and the young generation's preference for other types of entertainment in urban contexts, its practice continues to decline. The proposed safeguarding plan is well conceived, with clear objectives reflecting the identified needs and budget, with an aim of creating favorable conditions to transmit Yali and sustain their practice in the future. The practitioners, communities, and stakeholders were involved in the nomination process through consultations in a working group. The evaluation body recommends that the committee inscribe Yali Kochal Tenzele, traditional group dances of Nakhichevan, on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair, Chair of the evaluation body, for this clear presentation. May I now I understand that the Bureau received requests for amendment on this file. At this juncture, I would like to ask the Secretariat to take the floor to give us some clarification on that issue.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Indeed, as mentioned in the Bureau this morning, an amendment was proposed on this file. We would like the dear committee members to take note that thanks to the goodwill of parties involved, we would like to propose amendment on behalf of the Secretariat, as is shown on the screen. The Secretariat proposes that the draft decision remains as it is, with an extra paragraph reflecting language that has been used in the past, with the following words: takes note that the heritage of traditional group dances is shared by communities in the region and beyond. The Secretariat hopes committee members may be agreeable to this amendment.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary, for this clarification. Are we now ready to move for adoption of the decision paragraph by paragraph? Paragraph 1.
As a whole? As a whole? Okay, as a whole. If the committee wishes as a whole.
Thank you.
Yes, Palestine.
شكرا سيدي الرئيس. أود أن أقترح عليكم كي نختصر ضياع الوقت أن يتم الاعتماد لمشروع القرار بمجمله ودون تقسيم. شكرا سيدي الرئيس.
Do we agree that I see Cuba?
Sí, gracias, señor presidente. Es para apoyar la propuesta que ha hecho el colega de Palestina. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. I therefore move that we adopt as a whole decision 13,10A2 as amended and through the paragraph proposed by the Secretariat. Adopted. Congratulations, Azerbaijan. May I before giving the floor to Azerbaijan, give the floor to Armenia. Armenia, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I would like to say that Armenia disassociates itself from the draft decision just adopted. Certain elements of intangible cultural heritage are quite common in a number of states, especially in neighboring ones. They certainly cannot be bound within state borders. Unfortunately, we have witnessed a number of cases where attempts are made to privatize one element or another. We have also witnessed strange form of envy when a neighboring state is replicating almost every nomination of another file. It is imperative to assert that such envious approach of a neighboring state that tries to reject others' intangible cultural heritage in order to prove its own is not only pitiful, but also very dangerous for the convention and for the deliberations of the committee. Contrary to the purpose and the spirit of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, Azerbaijan still continues politicizing this framework and using it to present its unlimited and groundless claims for every piece of history and culture in the region. Following the submission of the nomination Kochari, traditional group dance by Armenia, back in 2014, and consideration by the committee in 2015, later inscribed in 2017, a followed-up action by Azerbaijan was submission of a replica nomination, Yali, Kochari, Tenzere, traditional group dances of Nakhichevan, for the inscription on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. The title Yali Kochari Tenzere, traditional group dances of Nakhichevan nomination is a clear example of provocation. Kochari is intentionally mentioned in the title, though there are more than 18 types of Yali as stated and more than 63 forgotten types of Yali. It should be mentioned that based on historical sources and data, group dances had been in wide and diverse practice among Armenian, Kurdish, and Yazidi communities in Nakhichevan until the middle of the 20th century. Referring to the arguments in the nomination file, page 5, gradual decrease in the number of practitioners resulted from forced migration started from the middle of the 20th century. But the state party failed to pay due attention to those communities, which no longer exist in the particular region, and mentioned that main community, which is the Armenian community practicing Kochari element, has been forced to flee the autonomous region since the middle of the 20th century. Significant demographic shift is particular forced migration and ethnic cleansing of the Armenian community, and this is the reason of the decrease in the number of practitioners. Also, the tradition of practicing group dances is widely shared by many communities.
Please, may I ask you to just
I'm
be very
finishing.
brief,
This is
please.
the last sentence. Although the tradition of practicing group dances is widely shared by many countries in the world, the culture of dancing Kochari in Armenia, with all its components, social function, techniques, meaning, and variety of cultural expressions, differs considerably from similar ones.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I reiterate our congratulations to Azerbaijan and give Azerbaijan the floor for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't want to repeat our letter, the content of our letter, which was sent to the ADG at Tone. The reply to all allegations just was raised by the delegation. There is no need again to repeat everything what is there, but here we again witness, unfortunately, regretfully, another evidence that one state party is trying to misuse its membership and politicize even more. Although it was very tough negotiations and efforts from the Secretariat, from the committee, from our side, to find a compromise language on the draft decision. So although we agreed on consensual, on compromise, and we show our flexibility on this, we're still witnessing accusations, allegations against us. So I think we have to put an end to this kind of behavior, unethical behavior in this committee. This is not the right place to use this committee for the domestic consumption, to pronounce the statements that they will use for the domestic consumption. The committee should not be taken hostage of this. How many years we will tolerate this kind of behavior? Every year we show flexibility on this issue. There is a webcast, the recording of how we accept the constructive approach shown by the committee members, how we accept the efforts of the Secretariat. But again, what we receive in reaction is the aggressive accusations, allegations about politicization, while in contrary, we were always in favor of the regional cooperation. We shouldn't go too far. We just can look to the nominations that presented by both countries. It's strange to see that this state party is advocating for the regional cooperation while they have no single multinational nomination, while Azerbaijan has already 3 multinational nominations. So who can speak about the regional cooperation here in this house? So I think we have to put the end to this kind of unethical behavior. If you allow me, Mr. Chairman, I will proceed to the statement of thanks to the committee for the inscription of this site.
Yes, please.
Azerbaijan would like to thank the committee, the members, for inscribing the Yalli, Kochari, Tanzara traditional group dances of Nakhchivan on the urgent safeguarding list and commend the evaluation body for the evaluation of this file. This is the second inscription of Azerbaijan on urgent safeguarding list and the first inscription of ICH element from Nakhchivan. And we believe it will raise awareness about other forms of ICH in this particular region of Azerbaijan, which is exclave. Communities in Nakhchivan perceive the Yalli dances as one of the most important aspects of their heritage that reach us today despite the challenges the communities have faced in the past. They are performed at various social and cultural occasions that represent a part of identity of the communities in Nakhchivan. These dances promote feelings of friendship, sharing and belonging to the community, as well as gender equality, since they are also performed in mixed forms. We would like to thank all stakeholders involved in the preparation of this file, especially Supreme Council of Nakhchivan, Nakhchivan Ministry of Culture, Sharur Folk Yalli Ensemble, children's schools, as well as individuals, dancers, and practitioners who have made a huge effort to focus on safeguarding of the Yalli dances, and most importantly, Kochari and Tanzara, and will now partner to safeguard the element in the most effective way. Mr. Chairman, I would like also to use this opportunity to show the small video, a small film prepared by the Ministry of Culture, which will give you more idea about how this dance plays a social role in Nakhchivan and entire Azerbaijan. Thank you.
Please proceed.
Adından UNESCO-ya, hökumətlərarası komissiyaya Yallı rəqsinin təcili qorunma siyahısına salındığına görə öz minnətdarlığımızı bildiririk. Bu bizim üçün çox mühüm bir hadisədir. Yallı rəqsinin, onun köçəri, pəncərə və digər növlərinin bugünə qədər gəlib çatması Azərbaycan xalqının milli ruhunun, onun əsrlər boyu yaşamış dərin mədəniyyətinin göstəricisidir. Xüsusi olaraq Azərbaycanın Naxçıvan ərazisində yayılmış, ancaq ölkənin bütün bölgələrinin mədəni həyatında rol oynayan bu rəqs növü dostluğun rəmzi kimi icmaları bir araya gətirir. İnsanlar arasında sülhsevərliyi, sevinci, şənliyi təbliğ edir. UNESCO-nun bu qərarı sayəsində bu gündən etibarən Yallı rəqsinin qorunması yalnız Azərbaycan xalqı üçün yox, həmçinin bəşəriyyət üçün də önəm daşıyacaqdır və bu hər bir Azərbaycanlını sevindirir və qürur hissi bəxş edir. Təşəkkürlər.
Thank you, Azerbaijan. We will now move to the examination of the nomination, the call What's Way Undead. Sorry, Cambodia, for the pronunciation. Draft decision 10A3 submitted by Cambodia. May I request Mr. Omare, please, to share with us the findings of the body on this nomination.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. The next file is Lihoni Hall, What's Viandet, submitted by Cambodia. Lihon Hall, What's Viandet is practiced in one community surrounding a Buddhist monastery. What's Viandet, and is performed by men wearing masks to the accompaniment of a traditional orchestra and melodious recitation. After generations of transmission, however, several factors now threaten the viability of the element, including environmental, insufficient resources, economic migration from the community, and a 14-year break in transmission from 1970 to 1984 due to the war and Khmer Rouge regime. From the information included in the file, the nomination satisfies criteria U1, U2, U4, and U5 for inscription on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. Lihon Hall Ward's survey and date is a prayer for happiness and prosperity, especially rain and a good harvest, and is also considered as a powerful tool to ward off calamities and diseases. The ritual practice of Lihon Hall Ward survey and date unites the local lay population of the Taksko and Pim Ta Ek villages with the Buddhist monastic community at Ward survey and date, where it has a deep spiritual meaning and social relevance. Although the last 5 masters of the Lihon Hall continue transmitting their knowledge, however, the majority of them are over 70 years old and some are critically ill. The Ministry of Culture and Fine Arts established a working group to cooperate with the local community during the preparation of the nomination file. However, the evaluation body considered that the information is not sufficient to assess criteria U3. While the body took into consideration that the safeguarding strategy presented does not seem to require large financial inputs, a clearly defined budget supporting its implementation is completely missing. Therefore, the evaluation body recommends that the committee refers Lihon Hall Ward survey and date to the submitting state. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Omare, for this detailed explanation of the different issues raised during the evaluation of this file. May I, at this juncture, request for your indulgence on one issue. We are going to consider a number of inscriptions, and hopefully many of them is going to be approved. And it is a practice that to congratulate the state member whenever an inscription is successfully completed, for the sake of convenience and also to due respect to the speakers who may be intervening for the next inscription, I'll request that whenever we wish to congratulate, and I wish also that we do it in a way that is not going to disturb the working of this committee. We have got sufficient space on both sides of this hall. If we could just move on either side so that we can continue our workings in a more serene manner. Thank you very much for your cooperation on that score. And with this few words, let us now move to consider the present application, where the Bureau received a request for amendment. The floor is now open to committee members for comments on that score. I see Philippines wishes to intervene at this juncture.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We requested that this file be open for discussion because the element clone call, we believe that it should be not be referred back to the state party when the missing information has been duly provided by Cambodia to the committee members. This emphasizes the need for a dialogue between nominating state parties and the evaluation body in such instances when just a little bit of clarification or additional information can complete the picture needed by the evaluation body to finalize its recommendation. For it is apparent in the nomination dossier and the report of the evaluation body that the element merits urgent safeguarding and that the measures proposed are very clear and thorough. The element is highly important as a practice of the Buddhist monastery community as a source of spiritual meaning and social relevance. Thus, we would request that the state party be given the floor, Mr. Chair, to provide further information on the budget of the safeguarding plan. We have submitted, together with a number of committee members, amendments to the draft decision. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Philippine. Before giving the floor to the member state, I'll request other state committee members who wish to take the floor to intervene, and at the end we are going to give the floor to the state who makes the application. I have on my list Palestine, China, Poland, Senegal, and a few others, but we are Zambia, Kazakhstan, and Azerbaijan.
Kuwait.
Let us start with Kuwait also, I understand, Palestine, and then we are going to continue with the list. Palestine, please.
شكرا سيد الرئيس، وأرى أن هناك العديد من الزملاء الذين طلبوا الكلام، ولذلك سأحاول أن أكون مقتضبا. أولا أنا أشارك الرأي في كل ما جاء في مداخلة وفد الفلبين. بعد ذلك أود أن أوجه الشكر للهيئة التقييمية لما قامت به من عمل بخصوص هذا العنصر الهام لكوهون كوهول، وأنا آسف أيضا لهذا الاسم الصعب في الذكر فاعذروني. إن الهيئة التقييمية رأت أن هذا الملف بجميع نقاطه محكم وجيد جدا، وحتى المعيار الثالث إذا نقرأ ما جاء في التقييم نرى أن خطة الحفاظ وهيكلية خطة الحفاظ على العنصر واضحة ومتينة البنية، وتبين دور الجماعات المعنية في هذه الخطة. وكذلك اعتبرت الهيئة التقييمية أن التكلفة المالية لهذه الخطة ليس باهظة، ولكن لا يوجد ميزانية تفصيلية واضحة. هذه هي النقطة الوحيدة التي جاءت سلبية في التقييم. لذا أود سيد الرئيس أن أطرح سؤالا بهذا الخصوص على الدولة الطرف. Et là, je vais poser la question en français pour que ça soit clair. Pour le U3, la remarque, le point négatif, c'était simplement l'absence d'un budget détaillé. Est-ce que l'État partie peut nous donner un peu de clarification là-dessus? Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Merci, Palestine. Alors, avant de passer la parole à la Chine, je voudrais répéter que nous avons la Chine, Pologne, Sénégal, Zambie, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, le Koweït, le Liban, Japon, Armenia et la Colombie qui voudraient intervenir. And now it's my pleasure to give the floor to China.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My delegation would first thank the evaluation body for its efforts on the evaluation of this nomination. According to the draft decision, the information included in this file is not sufficient to satisfy the criterion U3. Well, when we look through the nomination files, we noticed that in section 3B, which is regarding to the proposed safeguarding plan, we found it is stated for several times that resources come from both within the community and the Ministry of Culture and Fine Arts and other partners are playing a supportive role in ways of providing both financial and in-kind support. And we also can trace that available resources for the implementation of the safeguarding plan are can come from the commitment of different stakeholders. So given this context, we would like to request the submitting state for some clarification on this point. Thank you.
Thank you very much, China. May I now give the floor to Poland?
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Poland wishes to agree with the amendments proposed by the State Party of Philippines by stressing that the purpose of the urgent list is to prevent the element from the upcoming threats and eventual extinction. As the Cambodian nomination file pointed out, the element is threatened by aging and of the bearers, and the consequences thus are connected to it. In this point, the element needs to be inscribed on an urgent basis due to the safeguarding measures. Otherwise, leaving the element without international assistance will be against the spirit and objectives of the Convention. Hopefully, the clarification of the State Party will complete the nomination file and then will enable the committee to decide in favor of the inscription of the Cambodian element on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Le Sénégal, s'il vous plaît.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Je voudrais remercier l'organe d'évaluation pour son travail extrêmement important et féliciter également l'État soumissionnaire pour ce dossier très important lié au rituel, lié au bouddhisme qui se traduit à travers un spectacle riche en couleurs et avec une diversité d'expressions culturelles liées au rite agraire, notamment le cycle de la culture de riz. Le seul point qui a été souligné par l'organe d'évaluation, c'est le budget. Nous souhaitons donc qu'on donne l'occasion aux pays soumissionnaires de fournir des informations sur le budget. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Sénégal. La Zambie? Zambia, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. As the Zambian delegation, I'd like to support the amendment by Philippines to support Cambodia's application to the urgent list. As noted already, there are a number of things that they've cited in terms of the threat to the element, in terms of migration, environment, and the economy situation. And when we look at criteria 3, which deals also with the community, somehow they've mentioned a number of things, and in their rebuttal, they've managed to satisfy the criteria as the Zambian delegation is concerned. So we submit that we support Philippines' amendment for the element to be inscribed in the urgent list. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. May I give the floor to Kazakhstan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to support the Philippines amendment proposal. Spiritual nature of Riamkar theatric performance and its geographic concentration into villages near Wat Svai Undead Monastery put survival of the element in hands of community. And it is the community's wish, as the nomination states, to focus on intangible and creative safeguarding measures like networking, training, and fundraising. Budget allocated via National Living Human Treasures Program, regular financial allowances for local monks, and hiring a focal point seem to satisfy communities' requirements for municipal support. Requesting member states to draw big funding projects and programs might lead to standardization of nominations. In this regard, we find Cambodian nomination distinctively interesting and setting a good example of community spirit, enthusiastic approach, and the role of elder population in safeguarding the element. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Azerbaijan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our delegation has carefully studied the file from Cambodia that we would like to commend for the nomination on this vibrant and diverse element, whose practice is continued and maintained primarily by rural practitioners who perform for the value and well-being this element brings to the community. When it comes to the criterion U.3, we noted with great appreciation the description of the past and current safeguarding measures under section 3.a, which showed balanced approach from both the concerned community and the national authorities toward the safeguarding of this element, threatened by a number of external and internal factors. With regard to the second part of this criterion, section 3.b, and the issue of a missing budget for the safeguarding plan as raised by the evaluation body, we note that the nomination does speak about, I am telling about quote from the Ministry of Culture of Cambodia, Ministry of Culture and Fine arts, and other partners providing financial and structural support to strengthen the efforts of the community. Finally, we also note that the instructions in the nomination form under the section mention the possibility of in-kind community inputs, which seems to be the case of this particular nomination to a larger extent, as the safeguarding of this element relies very much on communities themselves. Considering this, Azerbaijan would be in favor that this criterion is met, even if a clear budget estimate has not been provided. We find in numerous instances clear commitment from the state to provide, secure, or use existing mechanisms to provide financial resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Azerbaijan. Can we now have Kuwait to share with us their comment?
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Also, Kuwait would like to thank the evaluation body for the great job they're doing on these files. And also, we would like to congratulate the state party for a great file that's been submitted. And clearly, this file shows the involvement of the community in both ways, in the administration of this file and this listing, and also from the financial throughout the incoming years. We know that the budget has been submitted, except missing some detailed budget in section 3B, and we are waiting for the state party to clarify that minor point, we think. So we are in favor of inscribing this file, and we would like to also thank Philippines for opening the discussion for this file. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lebanon, please.
شكرا سيد الرئيس. بما أن كل ما أريد أن أقوله قد ذكره الزملاء، سأكتفي بتأييد موقف الفلبين ودعم التعديلات وشكر هيئة التقييم على ما قامت به. Thank you.
Lebanon. May I invite Japan, please?
Well, thank you very much, Chair. First, I'd like to appreciate the effort by evaluation body. And as for this element, we highly recognize and appreciate the value of the Buddhist culture, which we have, of course, a very strong sympathy. And we have studied the nomination, and the file has been very well prepared in general, except for the part of the budget. So, if the nominating country can provide good information about the budget, I believe that there's no reason that we will not inscribe this one. So in that case, we'll support the amendment by the Philippines. Thank you.
Thank you, Japan. May I request Armenia, please?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I see a lot of speakers, so I will be rather short. We are also commenting distinguished delegation of Cambodia for the nomination, and we would like to support the request on behalf of the Philippines to ask the member state to duly provide the clarification and to include the element for further consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Colombia, please.
Gracias, presidente. Colombia quiere reconocer y felicitar a Cambodia por su expediente y sobre todo porque trabajaron de mano con las comunidades. Es un expediente de muy alta calidad técnica y en ese sentido queremos apoyar la enmienda propuesta por Filipinas y dar lugar a Cambodia para que simplemente nos aclare un poco el tema del presupuesto, pero consideramos que es fundamental la inscripción de esta manifestación en la lista. Gracias.
Thank you very much. The last one on my list is Cuba.
Gracias, señor presidente. Nuestra delegación también desea sumarse a lo manifestado por las delegaciones que nos han precedido y deseamos agradecer a Filipinas por las enmiendas presentadas y también nos sumamos al apoyo de estas enmiendas. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much for all members who wish to intervene. I notice Guatemala also wishes to say a few words. Guatemala, please.
Sí, muchas gracias, señor presidente. También como Guatemala creemos que Camboya ha presentado un buen expediente y, bueno, serán cosas muy, digamos, no de fondo lo que falta aclarar. Apoyamos la enmienda presentada por Filipinas y también como país apoyamos a Camboya para que se le dé la oportunidad de inscribir a la lista de salvaguardia urgente. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Cyprus, please.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. C'était aussi pour dire qu'on est d'avis qu'on donne la parole à la délégation de Cambodge. Simplement, je voulais faire une proposition, et si tous les membres sont d'accord, quand on est d'accord qu'on puisse donner la parole à l'État pour qu'il s'explique un point, est-ce qu'on peut ne pas prendre la parole tous les États et simplement d'indiquer le nom de chaque pays qu'il est d'accord pour ne pas perdre du temps? Merci.
Yes, thank you. We take good note of the suggestion of Cyprus. May I now invite Cambodia? Le Cambodge, s'il vous plaît.
Monsieur le Président, distingués membres du comité, avant de donner la parole à mon collègue qui va répondre aux membres du comité, et comme c'est la première fois que le Cambodge prend la parole, au nom du gouvernement du Royal du Cambodge, je tiens d'abord à remercier le gouvernement de Maurice d'accueillir et d'organiser le comité intergouvernemental dans un si beau pays avec une diversité culturelle très riche. Je voudrais également transmettre mes plus vifs remerciements au secrétariat de l'UNESCO pour le travail qu'ils ont accompli afin de nous fournir tous les très bons documents de travail. Et je souhaite remercier aussi les membres du comité pour leur incessant travail afin d'améliorer à chaque session la mise en œuvre de notre convention. And now I give the floor to my colleague to answer the question of the committee.
Thank you, Madam Minister. Mr. Chair, committee members, we appreciate the assessment of the evaluation body, which expressed a positive opinion on all criteria except one, the criterion U3. This was due to a technical misinterpretation. Mr. Chair, committee members, we wish to clarify and assure the committee members that the 5-year safeguarding plan 2018-2022 in the nomination file was articulated on the basis of the firm budget commitments from all stakeholders, government, communities, and partners in relation to their respective activities, and that budget can come out after when the activity is executed annually. It was on this basis of understanding, Mr. Chair, committee's members, that a clear defined budget was missing in our nomination file. With this regard, we have prepared an ad memo with a clear budget breakdown to clarify to the committee's members. We are also pleased to inform the committee member that those commitments that been said, since the submissions of our nomination file, 2 of items identified as urgent need, namely the performance stage, a set of costumes, have already been provided thanks to the initiatives taken by the local community, together with financial support by the Ministry of Cultures and Fine Arts, totaling more than $75,000. As a testimony of strong motivation by the communities and all stakeholders to continuing the reinvigoration of this treasured form. In conclusion, Cambodia wishes to assure the committee that we will be fully engaged, committed to provide all necessary means, financial, human, material, in order to safeguard the count of what's fire and diet for generations to come. With this clarification and expression of our commitments, Mr. Chair, esteemed committee members, we thank you for giving us the floor.
Thank you, Cambodia. I believe you are now ready to move to the adoption of the decision, paragraph by paragraph. Can we have the draft decision on the screen, please? Paragraph 1. No objection, adopted. Paragraph 2. No objection, adopted. Paragraph 3. amendment from Philippines. From, yes, Palestine.
شكرا سيد الرئيس. وفد فلسطين يود الدعم والانضمام للتعديلات المقدمة من وفد الفلبين لجميع الفقرات كي نتفادى ضياع الوقت. شكرا سيد الرئيس.
Yes. Yes, I agree that we have found broad support to the various amendments. And I see Cyprus and Kuwait wishing to intervene, as well as Azerbaijan.
This is support.
Oh, you're giving support, yes.
Support to show.
Japan is supporting Cyprus, Senegal, Djibouti, Zambia, Kazakhstan, Togo, China, Colombia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Lebanon, Kuwait, Guatemala, Poland, Jamaica, Cuba,
China, you said, yeah. Have I missed it? Zambia.
Zambia. If any one of the states doesn't hear the name, please.
Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. There is wide support, and therefore, can we move to adopt the document as a whole? Kuwait also is on the list. I therefore declare decision 13 come 10A. 10A free, adopted with amendment proposed by Philippines and supported by other members. Adopted. Congratulations, Cambodia. You have now the floor.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Aujourd'hui, c'est pour le Cambodge et spécialement la communauté de Wotsoy-Andait un moment de joie et de fierté de voir ce cinquième élément de notre patrimoine culturel immatériel inscrit sur cette liste prestigieuse. Au nom du gouvernement royal du Cambodge et au nom des communautés concernées, le Cambodge remercie le comité d'avoir accepté d'inclure le Crown Khao Wotsoy-Andait. Cette inscription est un encouragement supplémentaire pour le développement de cette forme d'expression culturelle cambodgienne. Le Cambodge est conscient qu'il lui incombe d'accompagner la communauté dans la mise en œuvre du plan de sauvegarde. De nombreuses activités sont déjà en cours. Elle considère cet élément comme un reflet de leur identité culturelle. Je puis vous assurer, Monsieur le Président et les membres du comité, que cette inscription créera une synergie positive entre les communautés et les autres parties prenantes, ce qui soutiendrait considérablement les efforts de sauvegarde et assurer la viabilité de l'élément. Pour finir, le Cambodge considère que cette session constitue une étape majeure dans la contribution du patrimoine culturel immatériel à la tâche essentielle de préservation de la diversité culturelle. Et je vous remercie à nouveau, Monsieur le Président et les membres du comité. Merci.
Et merci beaucoup le Cambodge et bravo encore une fois. Est-ce que je peux demander au Cambodge, s'il vous plaît, pour ne pas trop gêner le travail, de se mettre soit à gauche, soit à droite, s'il vous plaît, le Cambodge. Bougez, s'il vous plaît, au fond de la salle ou à gauche, s'il vous plaît, le Cambodge. S'il vous plaît, le Cambodge, je vous demanderai de bouger soit à gauche, soit à droite, pour qu'on puisse continuer notre session dans de meilleures conditions. Merci beaucoup. We now come to the examination of the nomination submitted by Egypt, entitled Traditional Hand Puppetry, Decision 10A4. Let me now give the floor to the chairperson of the evaluation body so that he can share with us the findings of the body on this nomination. Chairperson of the evaluation body, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. The next file is the traditional hand puppetry submitted by Egypt. Alagozi is an old form of Egyptian theater using traditional hand puppetry. The viability of the practice is threatened by the changing social, political, legal, and cultural circumstances of its enactment, such as laws concerning public gatherings, the rise of religious radicalism, an overall decrease in the interest among younger generations, and the advanced age of its active practitioners. From the information included in the file, the nomination satisfied all 5 criteria for inscription on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. The evaluation body considered that the traditional hand puppetry transmits moral principles, social norms, and cultural values, addresses family relations, and conveys messages about negative social behavior and other topical issues. The viability of the element is at risk due to the changing laws concerning legal and cultural circumstances of its enactment, such as laws concerning public gatherings, the upsurge of religious radicalism, and the overall decrease in interest among young generations. Efforts to safeguard the element include the identification and description of its contemporary state, scientific research, and related publications. Through a series of meetings and training sessions, Alagozi practitioners and 3 NGOs identified the element and provided their free, prior, and informed consent to the nomination. The evaluation body recommends that the committee inscribe traditional hand puppetry on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Omare. Since we did not receive any request for debate or amendment on this file, may I therefore ask the committee to adopt, yes, Kuwait.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. سيد الرئيس، الكويت تود أن تشكر لجنة التقييم على جهودهم بشكل عام وعلى ملف الأراغوز بشكل خاص. كذلك نبارك لدولة مصر ولجميع الدول في المنطقة لماذا يحتوي هذا الملف من ثقافة مهمة لهم. وكما تعلمون لما يتعرض هذا العنصر من تهديدات، ومتأكدين من أن دولة مصر وبمساعدة اليونسكو سوف تعمل على تطبيق جميع التدابير لصون المقترحة في لجنة التقييم. وبالختام هذا الملف فعلا يمثل الليفينج هيريتج بما تحمله الكلمة من جميع المعاني. شكرا سيد الرئيس.
Thank you very much, Kuwait. We have also Colombia and Palestine who wishes to say a few words.
Gracias, presidente. Colombia quiere saludar esta nominación, este gran trabajo de Egipto de sistematizar, de elaborar un dossier de tan alta calidad, y también felicita los esfuerzos de Egipto por mantener viva esta tradición, por revitalizarla y por tener un plan tan serio y comprometido con una manifestación cultural que habla de lo más profundo de Egipto. Gracias, presidente.
Thank you, Colombia. Palestine.
شكرا سيد الرئيس، ولن أكرر ما قيل لأنني كنت سأشكر أيضا الدولة الطرف وسأشكر الهيئة التقييمية لعملها الدؤوب والجاد، وأريد أن أهنئ الدولة لهذا العنصر الهام. الدمى التقليدية هي من ثقافة المنطقة، وفي مصر هذا عنصر هام جدا وللأسف هو عرضة للخطر، فبالتالي نشكر الدولة الطرف ونشكر الهيئة التقييمية لتوصيتها. شكرا سيد الرئيس.
Very much Palestine. Can we now move to adopt the draft decision on this file as shown on the screen? We adopt the draft decision as a whole. Document 13-10A4. I see no objection. Adopted. Congratulations, Egypt. May I now invite Egypt to take the floor.
شكرا سيدي الرئيس. نود في البداية أن نشكر اللجنة وهيئة التقييم على دراستها لهذا الملف الذي سبق تقديمه للترشح أول مرة في عام 2014، وقد بذلت جهود عديدة لاستيفاء كافة الملاحظات التي أبديت من قبل اللجنة ليعاد تقديمه مجددا العام الماضي للإدراج. إن الوقت والجهد اللذان بذل خلال تلك الفترة قد أتاح المجال لتقديم ملف للترشيح متكامل وناجح. إن الأراجوز هو شكل قديم للمسرح في مصر يعتمد على العرائس اليدوية التقليدية ويتم نقله شفاهة من جيل إلى جيل، وللأسف فيتناقص عدد الممارسين لهذا الفن كما تنخفض عدد العروض، مما يؤثر على سلاسة نقل ذلك التراث غير المادي إلى الأجيال القادمة. وفي هذا الصدد نود أن نعرب عن عميق تقديرنا للعيب الأراجوز وللجهود المبذولة من قبلهم للإبقاء على هذا الفن حيا. وحيث أن المجتمعات المعنية تعتبر الأراجوز عنصرا من عناصر تراثها الثقافي غير المادي، فلقد ساهمت مخلصة في إعداد الملف في كافة مراحله، بما في ذلك تحديد تدابير الصون السابقة والحالية، كما شاركت في بلورة التدابير المقترحة لصونه مستقبلا، وهي التي سوف يتم الشروع في تطبيقها بعد الإدراج. وإذ يسعد مصر تلقي قرار إدراج العرائس اليدوية التقليدية على قوائم الصون العاجل، فإنها تؤكد أن ذلك القرار سوف يسهم في خلق مناخ إيجابي لدى المجتمعات المعنية ويرفع الوعي بالتراث غير المادي بشكل عام. ختاما سيدي الرئيس، اسمحوا لي أن أكرر لكم الشكر وتقدير وفد بلادي على المستوى الرفيع من التنظيم الاجتماعات وعلى الحفاوة التي حظي بها كافة المشاركون. شكركم.
Thank you and congratulations once again, Egypt. With your permission now, we move to the examination of the nomination submitted by Kenya, entitled Nkipata Unodo Ongeshe, Free Male Rights of Passage of the Maasai Community, draft decision 10A5. As has been the practice in the past, a member of the body did not participate in the evaluation of a nomination submitted by the country of domiciliation of the non-governmental organization he or she represents, or by the country of nationality of an expert or of a representative from a non-governmental organization. I will therefore now give the floor to Mr. Evin Falk, Vice Chairperson of the evaluation body, so that he can share with us the findings of the body on this nomination. Mr. Falk, thank you for joining us on the podium. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. The next file is Enkipata, Eunutu, and Oling Esher, 3 male rites of passage of the Maasai community submitted by Kenya. Enkipata is the induction of boys leading to initiation. Eunutu is a shaving of the morns, paving the way to adulthood. Oling Esher is the meat-eating ceremony that marks the end of Mormonism and the beginning of eldership. From the information included in the file, the nomination satisfies all criteria for inscription on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. Through the practice, young men acquire the knowledge, skills, and social values needed to become respected and responsible members of the community, and to understand and fulfill their role in the society. Knowledge concerning Maasai culture is transmitted to a new generation together with 3 rites. However, the practice appears to be rapidly declining due to fast emergence of agriculture as a main source of income, reforms of the land tenure system, and the impact of climate change. The safeguarding plan draws on a project co-funded by the government of Kenya, the Maasai community, and UNESCO, based on capacity building and training participants from all 9 clans in community-based inventorying. The file attests to an active dialogue and cooperation among the Maasai community, the Department of Culture, the Cultural Initiative for Biodiversity Conservation, the Maasai Cultural Heritage, and other stakeholders throughout the nomination process. The evaluation body recommends that the committee inscribe Enkipata, Eunutu, and Oling Esher, 3 male rites of passage of the Maasai community on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding.
Thank you, Mr. Falk, for this clear presentation. The Bureau did not receive any request for debate or amendment to this file. Do I take it that we can move to adopt the draft decision on this file straight away? Could we have the draft decision on the screen, please? Do we agree to adopt draft decision 13-10A5? I see no objection. Adopted. Congratulations, Kenya. Kenya, you have the floor for 2 minutes.
Chairperson of the 13th session of the Intergovernmental Committee, distinguished members of the committee, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the inscription of Enkipata, Eunutu, and Oling Esher, 3 male rites of passage of the Maasai on the list of elements in need of urgent safeguarding today marks one of our happiest moments in the history of implementation of the Intangible Cultural Heritage Convention in Kenya. I wish to thank the evaluation body and the distinguished committee for giving us an opportunity to share with the world this great ICH element, as well as to supporting Kenya with financial assistance towards safeguarding the element. This is the 3rd element the committee has inscribed for Kenya, others being traditions and practices associated to the Kayas in the sacred forests of the Mijikenda, and the Isikuti dance of the Hidaho and Isuka communities among the Luya communities in Western Kenya. Kenya highly values its intangible heritage and has put in place mechanisms towards its safeguarding and transmission through the implementation of this convention. The inscription of the element is therefore a milestone for Kenya, as it gives the Maasai community a renewed energy for its promotion and safeguarding. The Maasai are made up of 9 related sections that all share this common heritage. 3 male rites of passage of Enkipata, Eunoto, and Olengesher has all along given them a sense of identity, pride, and promoted traditional systems of governance, decision-making, and responsibility among the Maasai. This heritage has been so outstanding to the extent of endearing the Maasai as a formidable community in the transmission and safeguarding of its intangible cultural heritage among Kenyan communities. Chairperson, the State Party of Kenya commits itself in the promotion, preservation, and safeguarding the cultural heritage of its diverse communities, in addition to the inscribed elements. May I invite the international community to visit the Kenyan Maasai in Kajiado and Narok counties next year, beginning April, during the times of the celebration of the Enkipata, Eunoto, and Olengesher ceremonies, to have a first-hand experience of this outstanding ICH. Finally, Mr. President and honorable delegates, may I invite all tour operators of the world and would-be tourists to Kenya to consider adding Enkipata, Eunoto, and Olengesher, 3 male rites of passage of the Maasai community in their travel itineraries. We assure the committee that Kenya has a sustainable tourism management strategy to ensure that there is no over-commercialization of our intangible cultural heritage as a result of increased tourism activities around the elements. May I, at this juncture, invite you to experience this great intangible heritage by watching our short video. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Kenya.
The Maasai are a Nilotic group of people who are predominantly pastoralists and reside around major game parks in the Great Rift Valley section of southern Kenya and northern Tanzania. The Maasai community comprises of 9 clans.
They are renowned
for their love for animals and for defending and adhering to their authentic cultural traditions, which include a strict age-set transition, beginning with the very young, and which is marked by elaborate ceremonies of which rituals are conducted to bestow on them new status, roles, and responsibilities for the community. The 3 ceremonies which define the progressive and transitional development of an individual as an integral member of the Maasai society are Enkipata, Eunoto, and Olengesher.
Thank you, Kenya. I would like also to thank Mr. Falk for stepping in on this file. We now move to the examination of the nomination. Suri Jajek, Observing the Sun, traditional meteorological and astronomical practice based on the observation of the sun, moon, and stars in reference to the local topography, submitted by Pakistan. Mr. Omari, please share with us the findings of the body on this nomination. Mr. Chairperson of the evaluation body, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. The next file is Suri Chayek, Observing the Sun, traditional meteorological and astronomical practice based on the observation of the sun, moon and stars in reference to the local topography submitted by Pakistan. Suri Chayek is the traditional Kalasha meteorological and astronomical knowledge system and practice based on the observation of the sun, moon, stars, and shadows with respect to the local topography. The system is repeatedly referenced to allow the Kalasha people to predict the appropriate time for sowing seeds, animal husbandry, and natural calamities. It's also used to govern the Kalasha calendar by determining the dates of important social events, festivals, visits, and religious ceremonies. However, with the advent of the digital age, people are increasingly opting for more technologically advanced means of predicting weather conditions. From the information included in the file, the nomination satisfies all 5 criteria for inscription on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. The evaluation body considered that despite modernization and new global forecasting methods, Suri Chayek still plays an important role in the life of the Kalasha community, comprising fundamental knowledge that helps sustain their way of life. Suri Chayek strengthens solidarity among people and reinforces a sense of identity by pointing towards shared histories and deeply rooted cultural connections. The viability and transmission of the element rest in an innovative transfer of information through storytelling, particularly when the community gathers to observe the rising and the setting sun. The proposed safeguarding plan has been carefully prepared and clearly demonstrates community participation. The nomination involved widest possible participation of members of the Kalasha community, academics, NGOs, and Pakistan government. The evaluation body wishes to commend the state party for submitting a well-prepared file and further remind it that updating is an important part of the inventorying process and invites it to include detailed information concerning this aspect in its next periodic report on the implementation of the convention at the national level. The evaluation body recommends that the committee inscribes Suri Chayek, observing the sun, traditional meteorological and astronomical practice based on observation of the sun, moon, and stars in reference to the local topography on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Omare, for your presentation. The Bureau did not receive any request for debate or amendment for this file. May I therefore ask the committee to adopt the draft decision on this file as shown on the screen as a whole. I see no objection. I therefore declare decision 13-10A6 adopted. Congratulations, Pakistan. The floor is yours for 2 minutes. Pakistan, please.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Chairperson, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Government of Pakistan and on behalf of my delegation, I wish to express our gratitude to the Intergovernmental Committee for inscription of Pakistan's Suri Jajak tradition on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. We will also like to take this opportunity to convey our immense appreciation to the Evaluation Committee and Secretariat of ICH, which provided valuable support in achieving this milestone. Suri Jajak, or observing the sun, is a traditional meteorological and astronomical practice based on the observation of the sun, moon, and stars in reference to the local topography. This practice plays a pivotal role in the Kalasha community, as a significant social event like festivals, feasts, rituals, animal husbandry, and farming practices are governed through this age-old practice. It is also used to forecast weather and predict natural disasters. This is Pakistan's first ever independent intangible cultural heritage inscription. Currently, Pakistan is part of falconry and Nowruz, which are inscribed on the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of the humanity as multinational nominations. Suri Jajak was a fast disappearing element of indigenous Kalasha knowledge of nature and universe, and therefore was proposed to be put on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. This vital tradition will now be protected as part of shared human heritage of the entire world and will continue to serve its spiritual and utilitarian purposes. Being a party to UNESCO's 2003 Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage, Pakistan subscribes to its provisions and is committed to preservation of its intangible cultural heritage. UNESCO is the only international organization that can pride itself in holding this immensely important mandate of building peace in the minds of men and women through education, culture, science, and communications. Traditional practices add value to our everyday lives. Heritage constitutes our national identity and is a source of cohesion in an age of bewildering change. Placing culture at heart of development policy is a priority of our government and an essential investment in our future. In the end, I would like to request the Secretariat to play a part of our short documentary on Suri Jajak. I thank you all.
Mastrukas putras demo, mastrukas mai kaltabario, viota se mai kiaziano, shing surasom gerio chundemo.
ये चांद और वो सूरज के गाने हैं वो सूरी मास्टर को कह रही है ना कि मैं अपने बेटी को मतलब चांद का जो बेटा है उसके साथ शादी करवाऊंगी उसकी आपके साथ मैं रिश्ता बनाऊंगी खलताबारी हम तो कहते हैं कि किलाई जुबान में हम खलताबारी कहते हैं रिश्ता जो जब नया नया रिश्ता बनता है उसको हम खलताबारी कहते हैं तो सब मास्टर का ससुराल तो सब फारूद है फिर वो मासूम के साथ फिर उसकी जो बेटी जो है शादी करके उसके घर जा रही है जैसा कि यहाँ पे हम जब शादी करते हैं तो पहले तो लड़का लेके जाता है फिर बाद में उसके अब्बू उसको घर बुलाते हैं तुम उसके घर जाओ वहाँ से मैं दोबारा आपको बुलाऊंगी अपने घर इस तरह ये
Thank you, Pakistan, and congratulations again for your first inscription. We will now move to the examination of the last nomination under item 10A for the file Shadowplay, submitted by the Syrian Arab Republic. I will now give the floor to the chairperson of the evaluation body so that he can share with us the findings of his committee.
Thank you very much.
Chairperson, please.
Thank you for your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. The next file is Shadowplay, submitted by Syrian Arab Republic. Shadowplay is a traditional art consisting of handmade puppets moving behind a thin, translucent curtain or screen inside a dark theater, now practiced mainly in Damascus. Performances in popular caves have waned and are now mostly confined to festivals, special holidays, and theaters. From the information included in the file, the nomination satisfied all the 5 criteria for inscription on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. The evaluation body considered that Shadowplay is a popular Syrian traditional performing art with a deep social and cultural meaning which conveys social, religious, and political content and teaches people about proper social behavior through satire. The practice and popularity of the element have been declining since the 1940s due to modern technology and new forms of entertainment. The proposed safeguarding measures include training new puppeteers, increasing performances, participation in international festivals, documentation, transmitting knowledge, launching our website, returning performances to caves, networking and building a legislative framework to manage living heritage. The nomination was drawn up by government organizations in partnership with artists, cultural associations, and civil society organizations. The evaluation body recommends that the committee inscribe Shadowplay on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Omari. In this case also, the Bureau did not receive any request for debate or amendment. May I therefore ask the committee to adopt the draft decision as a whole, as shown on the screen. I see no objection. I therefore declare Decision 13-10 SC adopted. Congratulations to the Syrian Arab Republic, to whom I now give the floor for the intervention. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. And allow me please to express my gratitude to the Republic of Mauritius for their much appreciated hospitality. Secretary of the Convention, Intergovernmental Committee members, distinguished delegates, observers, and NGO representatives. On behalf of the Syrian people, I thank you and congratulate you for the positive inscription of Syrian Shadowplay to the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. Shadowplay is an element deeply ingrained into the memory and traditions of the Syrian people. It has lived and transformed to represent more than the puppeteer and his screen. It is an example of how living heritage helps communities to build social bonds between each other, how they connect with each other, and how they express their thoughts, opinions, feelings, and grievances. In challenging circumstances, however, especially in war and displacement, the cultural heritage of communities is directly threatened, and therefore it is vital for the national and international efforts to come together to safeguard this heritage within the spirit of the Convention, as we have seen today. The Syrian Arab Republic, including its government institutions, civil society organizations, and local communities, are committed to safeguarding this element to guarantee its transmission to future generations. We pledge our commitment to the implementation of the 4-year safeguarding plan outlined in the nomination file, and which was prepared with the direct participation of Syria's last active puppeteer. We would like to thank the evaluation body for the professional work on the nomination file, and we take note of the recommendations included in their assessment. We thank you for giving the opportunity for our communities to celebrate their cultural identity, to enhance their safeguarding efforts of Shadowplay, and support the transmission and continuation of their living heritage. With your kind permission, Mr. Chairperson, we have a short video to show, and thank you all very much again.
مسرح خيال الظل بشكل عام أنا بالنسبة إلي بيعني لي حياتي. الوالد لما قلت له شو يعني كراكوز لما كنا عم نجمع الكتب وكذا، قعد قال لي لك يا أبي هذا كراكوز شغلته شغلة. لما بتصنعيها للقطعة بتحسي فيها، بتعملي لها طريقة حكي إلها. هاي القطعة روح، بتصير هي روح لما عم تحكي، بتصير إنسان تاني. هذا الشيء إذا أنا ما علمته للعالم أو أنا ما قدمته، أولادي وين بدهم يشوفون؟ المجتمع متعطش لهذا الشيء، متعطش لشيء اسمه بعيدا عن الشيء التطورات الحديثة وكذا، متعطش لشيء بداخله لذاته. أنا ما كنت بحلم بصراحة إنه بيوم من الأيام خيال الظل يستمر. لما بتقولي إنه في ناس صارت تفكر إنها تحمي هذا الفن أو هذا التراث أو هاي المهنة، بحس إنه في ناس صار لازم عن جد نقول لها شكرا كثير لهم. بسعادتي بهذا الشيء إنه كونه تسجل، عم بشوف إنه المسرح عم ينطلق بشوارع مدينة دمشق، مو مسرح واحد، عدة مسارح، عم تحكي عن قضايا المجتمع، عم تحكي عن أطفال المجتمع، عم تعبر للأطفال. هذا الفن سوري وسوري قديم، هذا المسرح مرتبط بدمشق ودمشق مرتبطة فيه. مسرح خيال الظل على قائمة الصون العاجل في اليونسكو لعام 2018.
Thank you again, and congratulations, Syria. Distinguished delegates, we have now completed the examination of all the nominations submitted for inscription on the urgent safeguarding list under item 10A.